5 seconds remaining.
Alright, we're back, and it's time for the finals. This is the grand finals of the Semi-Pro Cup Series. We got $100 on the line. I'm Niz. You're watching NizCast, and I just read on the NADota.com website there's a State of SCS update that was written by Mimic that not only announces that they're doing the format and everything staying the same, but the $100 prize pool is for the first Sunday of every month. I don't know if that was always in place or for the last one, or if that's something new or whatever, but either way, that's how the $100 prize pool is going to work. So the first Sunday of every single month, there's going to be $100 available. But he also goes on to thank me personally for being here casting every Thursday and Sunday and all that stuff. So big shout out to Mimic, but also big shout out to Exiled, GX Slim, Chop, all those guys. That's really awesome. If there wasn't a tournament, I wouldn't be able to cast it. So huge shout out to you guys. But we do have a finals to cast here. We've got Team Pikachu, which we saw just last cast. They're going up against, well, a team that we've seen most of tonight. That's Praise the Sun. And I have a feeling you may recognize a name on the side of Team Pikachu. If you don't recognize any of the guys on Praise the Sun, on the Radiant side, I guess you've been living under a rock. But for Team Pikachu, you have to know Merlini. He's one hell of a player. He's also one hell of a streamer and a commentator. And he's even streaming right now, so... yeah, if you want to see his first-person perspective of this finals, you can go check that out. Assuming you have the means to watch 2 streams, right? I wouldn't condone you leaving. But, yeah, so this is shaping up to be a good finals. But they are drafting pretty quickly. I wasn't quite ready to go. They said about 10 minutes. It was less than 10 minutes. So I had to run to the bathroom and do some stuff real quick. But we've got Wisp, Batrider, Skywrath Mage, and Nyx Assassin getting banned out from Team Pikachu. Then Praise the Sun banned out Troll, Sniper, Lena, and Zeus. So we're not going to see MSS dominate on the Sniper. And they actually chose to go with the team name of MSS Sucks this game. So... But they did pick up a Vengeful Spirit, Shadow Fiend, and Queen of Pain. So not only do they have the potential Shadow Fiend counter in the mid lane with the Queen of Pain, but they also have some good synergy with the minus armor from the Vengeful Spirit and the Shadow Fiend. Team Pikachu electing to go with the Storm Spirit, and arguably one of the stronger counters to the Storm Spirit in the Lion with the Instant Hex, even though Lion can kind of be a little bit vulnerable once that Orchid comes up. But they've got both those on their side. Now they're going to add an Earthshaker to that, so that's going to round out their support duo. And that means they can be doing a lot of roaming around and potentially put a lot of pressure on the Shadow Fiend. Assuming the Shadow Fiend is in the mid lane, they could elect to put the Queen of Pain mid and have the Queen of Pain against Storm matchup. That's always a fun one to watch. And then put the Shadow Fiend in the safe lane, which they could very well do. And I think that may actually be the better course to take, but who knows? Pandago probably has a better idea than I do about how they're going to lane this. And they're going to pick up an Axe. Okay. So that tells me that the Queen of Pain is not going to be in the off lane. It's most likely going to be the Axe. So we could still have that swap between the Shadow Fiend and the Queen of Pain. That doesn't solidify anything yet. But I do have a feeling it's going to be the Queen of Pain mid and the Shadow Fiend safe lane. So either way, they're looking to round out their roster with a support. As for Team Pikachu, most likely Storm Spirit in the mid lane. However, they could choose to slide that into the safe lane. As we actually saw Storm Spirit safe lane last game. With 11 playing on that. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for them. But I don't think them putting Storm Spirit in the safe lane. It wasn't solely on that. Medusa is what they're going to pick up, so that's a hero that could go safe lane or mid as well. I do have a feeling they're going to put Medusa in the safe lane, put the Storm mid, and we pretty much are just looking at an offlaner for Team Pikachu and a support for Praise the Sun. And now they have to choose who they're going to ban. So who's available for offlaners? Clockwork, Dire Clockwork, yeah, that's a pretty straightforward ban. As for Team Pikachu, who are they going to look to remove? Who's going to pair up well with the Vengeful Spirit? Witch Doctor is the first that comes to mind. It pairs, I mean, Witch Doctor and Vengeful Spirit's a strong support duo, but the Witch Doctor also pairs incredibly well with the Axe.
Remaining.
If you can get a taunt off on someone, that's pretty much followed up by a Maledict and a Death Ward, and they're dead. Even a stun coming up from the Vengeful Spirit. Interesting!
Radiant
They banned Anti-Mage. Huh. Huh. It's a strong counter to Medusa, or potentially one of those counters to Medusa. People are kind of on the fence whether or not it's a counter anymore. As people just said, well, if you're going to play Anti-Mage against Dusa, we're just going to push with the Dusa. Because Dusa kind of comes on earlier. She is pretty late game, but we're just going to push and come in your face.
Team pick.
Slark. Huh? That's just greedy, I guess. Support Queen of Pain? Could be it. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But we are going to finally see a Broodmother. 5th pick Broodmother. We did see it actually played the other night by Team Pikachu, and it was Zing on the Broodmother. So we're going to see that again. He did a pretty good job playing the Broodmother. He created a lot of space. He started off really, really slow, and he really struggled early on. But then he created a lot of space for his team, and, well, kind of led them to victory in a non-leading kind of way. But, yeah, he got it done. So we are going to see the Broodmother. So that's who they're going to pick up for the offlane. But I'm a little bit surprised by this other lineup from Praise the Sun.
10 seconds remaining.
As it looks like it's going to be a support Queen of Pain.
5 seconds remaining.
A little greedy. Certainly a little greedy, but yeah. We're in the finals, $100. So they have to pull out something special, and apparently it's going to be the support Queen of Pain getting played by Lust. But I'll introduce everyone first before I get down to Lust. He's 4th on the list. You can't skip some of these guys. On the Radiant side, we have Team Praise the Sun. They're going by the name of MSS Sucks in game. We've got Pandago playing the Vengeful Spirit, which he's played every single game that we've seen tonight. We have MSS back on the Shadow Fiend, which he played the first game that we saw. The Substerface is going to be playing Slark. Lust is on the Queen of Pain. He apparently gets introduced twice now. We have Dank Mech on the Axe. For the Dire side, it's TP, aka Team Pikachu, playing their Earthshaker. Is going to be their drafter, Showstopper. We have Little Green playing the Lion. We have Merlini playing the Dusa. We have Tiburon on the Storm Spirit. And we have Zing on Broodmother. Sorry about the chat coming out there. Hopefully that will clear and they won't spam it too much. But we have Boots of Speed on the Earthshaker, but he's the only one.
Stupendous!
We do have MSS getting the Bounty Rune in the bottom location. And I believe it was Tiburon that got in the top. So both mid laners having their crack at the Bounty Runes, and we're going to see exactly how they're going to square up here, as it is going to be Shadow Fiend against Storm Spirit. In the top lane, that's going to leave Axe up against the Dusa, and the Lion and the Earthshaker are both kind of rotating around, potentially trying to set something up mid. In the bottom lane, it is going to be Broodmother up against the Queen of Pain, support Queen of Pain, Slark, and Vengeful Spirit. And look at this, Dank Mech making a rotation over. Will he spot out Little Green? I think he did. And now they're going to start right-clicking him down. And they weren't able to get that career down, and that's something that they were really hoping for, really trying to slow down MSS. But the career is on his way out now, but with knowledge of those two heroes being there, he's probably going to be quite safe with it. And Dank Mech is actually going to come up here, protect it, and make sure it's protected before the courier comes in and delivers that bottle. Bottom lane, Zing already off to his spider shenanigans, hiding in the trees. But they will catch him out here as they destroy the trees and use the Wave of Terror to track him down. And, well, that's the value of having that Slark. You're able to pounce him and kind of lock him down in place, make sure he can't run away. And that's going to be our first blood. Pandago's going to get that. So that's going to be a little bit extra gold there for the Vengeful Spirit. It's going to allow him to pick up his boots and allow him to move around and make those rotations just a little bit faster. Looks like Dank Mech is almost completely abandoned the top lane, as he didn't get any XP up there, and he's just electing to go to the jungle immediately. So far in the mid lane, we've got Tiburon leading the way in CS. He's ahead by 3 right now over the Shadow Fiend, but that's to be expected. Shadow Fiend a little bit of a slow starter in terms of CS, because he doesn't really start with much damage. Oh, he's getting quite a bit of damage here onto Tiburon. Yes. Tiburon is currently bottle crowing, so he doesn't have access to his regen yet. He does have a couple tangos on him right now, though. So we're pretty much not going to see too much of Merlini here for a little bit, as he's just, well, farming away by himself. No one else in his lane. Probably the most eventful lane is going to be this mid lane between MSS and Tiburon. But you never know. Zing can always very easily get caught out in this lane because of that Slark. And, well, that's kind of compounded by the fact that the Vengeful Spirit now has those boots. MSS getting stunned up. They're just making sure that he always knows that they're there. Just constantly throwing out those stuns. And that's just going to allow Tiburon to do a little bit better. And you can tell that they're really respecting the level of play from MSS. As he's quite the player.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Zing does have a couple spiderlings up here, but he's really playing cautiously here. As Broodmother, you're not really that concerned about getting as much farm as possible off the start. You have to keep in mind that you're an offlaner. If they expected you, if everyone on your team expected you to get a ton of CS, they wouldn't put you in the offlane. Right? That just doesn't make sense. Your whole idea is to stay down this lane, get as much XP, and whatever gold you can safely to kind of get yourself going. And once you kind of get to that position in the game where heroes are rotating away, then Broodmother's going to have that space to really kind of take over the bottom lane and basically draw those support heroes back into that lane to stop them from roaming around. It's kind of the opposite of how you typically have an offlaner. An offlaner typically basically tries to get his 6. As soon as he gets his 6, then he goes and jumps around and ganks. Zing getting caught out here as he's going to get dusted, and with Dank Mech TPing down here, he's going to get the taunt off. I don't even think it was necessary for the axe to be there, as they were able to land the pounce. But they are actually going to change the lane, so they're going to send the Slark up to the top lane, and I actually didn't see Lust TPing in the mid lane. I didn't see anything going on in the mid lane, as Earthshaker, Showstopper, made a little dive there with Tiburon, and they got the kill on MSS. And it's interesting that they chose to put Slark up here. It's still level 4 Slark. And that means they're going to have the Axe up against the Broodmother, which should be okay. You know, Axe should dominate that lane pretty easily. I played this lane maybe in the last month or so, and I was kind of at a lower skill level than my own, but you know, I got a couple kills. But it is a pretty easy lane for the Axe. And certainly with Pandago down there, that they definitely have the ability to get those kills. Pandago just picking up a TP scroll, and I don't think he's actually going to use that to go up top. I think what he's basically just going to do is basically use it. He's just going to use it to basically support MSS if they choose to dive him. Speaking of which, in the bottom lane, they just got a kill onto Zing as I wasn't paying attention, but those spiderlings get a return kill, getting the kill onto Pandago. As for the Slark in the top lane, I don't know about this. I really don't know about this. I feel like the Slark isn't going to get much in this lane. Tiburon potentially getting caught out there. He had to be careful. But now it's Little Green is the one in trouble, as Lust managed to get the Shadow Strike off on him. That's going to allow MSS to get close enough to throw out the hands. the raises, but Little Green actually land that double Earth Spike, and that allowed him to get far enough away. Pandago making his way back down to the bottom lane as he respawned there. So this is a little bit of a quiet one thus far. I mean, we've just had a little bit of action in the bottom lane, a little bit in the mid lane, but pretty much nothing in the top lane. Merlini just been left to farm away. He does have a hand of Midas going here, and I mean, everyone in chat here is kind of what do you think about Merlini's build this game? They're asking as well. I don't know. I think it could pan out. I think the Midas may have been a little too greedy, but we'll see.
Get out of
Predicting
here.
bots as Mimic, of course. Merlini known for that. But we've got to dive in the mid lane as MSS is going to get focused down, but at the same time, Tiburon's going to go down. So it's a trade for both the mid laners. And, well, TP only basically devoting 2 heroes for that. And there was 3 heroes used by the Radiant side. So that means there was an extra hero on the map for TP. So most likely they were being a little bit more efficient with that. But we now have 6 up on Slark, so he can actually take the harass that's going to be coming out from Merlini here. And Little Green constantly stacking up these camps, making sure that his Storm Spirit has somewhere to fall back in the jungle and get a little bit of gold there. There's that stack went through.
Yes.
In the meantime, Showstopper just stacked up the Ancients and then got that bounty rune. Well, have Zing off to once again a slow start, 1 and 3. But remember, the other game he started slow as well. So he expect him to come back in this game and expect him to start creating that space. And despite the fact that this Radiant side has quite a bit of AoE to deal with the Spiderlings, to deal with the Broodmother push, I still think she's going to be able to create quite a bit of space, and that means it's going to be more time for this Dusa to get going. You see a Ring of Aquila just getting delivered there for Merlini. Tiburon farming up that stack with Showstopper, so he's going to get a little bit of that XP. Still just past level 5, so he's got another level to go before he's 6. Unfortunately, Little Green is further away. He's about a level and a half from 6 before that finger is going to be available to him. We have Dankmech trying to get a taunt off, but unfortunately not landing on Zing, who will lay down another web. And he has to be careful because Pandago's hanging out here as well. He's waiting to potentially get a stun off. This Sentry Ward will reveal Zing. In fact, it's probably revealing him right now. But now Zing just heading into the jungle, getting as much farm as he can. He's you can tell that he plays this hero quite a bit, as the way he was playing it the other time. He definitely knew what he was doing, that's for damn sure, and you certainly don't get to the finals playing heroes that you don't know what you're doing. But it's going to be a tough game for him. We've got the Blink Dagger up on Axe this time, and that means he's got to be very, very safe with his positioning. On top of that, we've got Pandago just kind of hanging out, trying to set something up. But, he's doing a great job. Dankmech blinking, trying to get the taunt off, but unfortunately not able to land it onto the Broodmother.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Look at this. Look at all. This is exactly what I said about the Broodmother in the offlane. Her whole idea is that once we get to that time where the supports start moving away from the lane, the Broodmother's job is to bring those supports back, draw them all back there, and we can see how much attention's being devoted to this Broodmother. They keep trying to go on her. Yes, they've gotten her a couple times, but for the most part, they haven't gotten her recently. And despite the fact that their sentries everywhere, she's constantly juking these taunts. Big plays coming out from Zing. And that means Merlin is completely left alone up here in the top lane on this Dusa. We got Queen of Pang hanging out up here, getting a little bit of CS and gold, but for the most part, this has just been a pretty passive game. Not I guess intentionally, by the Radiant side, as they've been trying to be pretty aggressive onto this Broodmother, but they just haven't been able to get those kills. Zing's been playing incredibly well, and they're not really able to go anywhere else on the map because of the fact that Zing's down here on the Broodmother. But there is quite a bit of gold coming out here for the Radiant side while they are farming. MSS has just been sitting mid the whole time. And they still need that 6 on Little Green, but Tiburon will jump forward and get the pull off onto MSS, but TP coming in from Pandago, but it's going to be too late. Dankmech will get the taunt off onto Tiburon, and then Lust comes in with the Sonic Wave. That'll land on 3, and oh my goodness, it's a complete disaster for the Dire side as they're going to lose 3. Yes, they got the kill onto MSS, but with Lust arriving and throwing down that huge 3-man Sonic Wave, that completely turned everything around. Of course, it started with the nice blink taunt from Dankmech, but Lust, huge Sonic Wave there, so much damage, and that allowed them to get 3. Unreal. Wow, Zing actually going for a Hand of Midas, so that will help him kind of get back in the game even faster and help him just pop in and out of the jungle, farm a little bit faster. But that makes 2 Hand of Midases in this game for the Dire side. Of course, the other one up on Merlini, on the Dusa, who's since picked up a Yasha to go with the phase boots. I haven't checked MSS. Okay, he's actually building a mech. Interesting. It's been a while since we've seen a mech on a Shadow Fiend. People were building it, but then they kind of transitioned away from picking up the mech. Mech is more of an item that you pick up when the game's kind of in a push meta, when there's a lot of push going on. It's a really good early game item. When you pick it up on a core, it's more of a defensive item. It's just kind of a better option than a Vanguard, even though with Crimson Guard that kind of changed the value of Vanguard. It allowed Vanguard to essentially scale later on into the game, making it kind of more of a choice between whether you're going for mech or Vanguard. But in this game, MSS choosing to pick it up, and I imagine he's going to finish them. Well, he's definitely going to finish the mech, but I imagine he's going to go mech and then still get the Yule. So he's going to have those double defensive items. But I guess that remains to be seen. And that's a lot similar to how we were seeing Shadow Fiend play kind of around the time of DAC, the Dota Asia Championships. Well, how's Showstopper doing? 300 gold, so he's already got his Arcanes up. So Earthshaker off to a pretty good spot right now. You typically are looking at getting your Blink Dagger around the time you get level 10, and it's weird to think of that a hero is going to have a specific amount of gold by the time he's a specific level. But unless you're really, really struggling on a hero like an Earthshaker, you're going to have that Blink Dagger around that level 9, level 10 timing. I have a feeling his might come a little bit later, but we will have to wait and see. But he looks like he's in a good spot thus far. Zing juking and jiving, but unfortunately he jukes and he jives right back into a taunt. And they will catch him this time, and that's going to put Dankmech on a killing spree.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
And the mid tower goes down, but Little Green managed to get the deny there, so a little bit of gold kept away from the Radiant side. And still we continue with this kind of farm fest of a Dota game, but never mind, we've got action in the middle lane as the Shadow Fiend's going to get picked off, and now Tiburon's going to get the pull onto Pandago. We're going to have the Echo come out from Showstopper, followed up by the Fissure, and that's going to get the kill onto Pandago. And Dankmech is there as well, but everyone else is just going to get on out of there. Dankmech is a pretty scary hero at this point in the game. Axe, level 11, Blink Dagger, Blade Mail, 15 minutes into the game. It's pretty scary. No reason to stick around and keep fighting that. Looks like the Slark's going to go after the Shadow Blade, so that's pretty standard. He actually has it, just needs to deliver it with the Courier.
Middle tower is under attack.
Lust just finished his treads. He's also picked up a bottle. Ultimate Orb getting picked up by Merlini here. Will he build the Manta first or build that straight into a Scotty. Not sure.
Illusion.
Mech just getting finished by MSS. Pandago has picked a Sage's Mask. It looks like he's probably building the same he's been building all the other games. Maxing Wave of Terror and then building into the Medallion. So they're going to have more of that minus armor. It is worth noting that they're on the Radiant side this time around. So it's not going to be as easy for them to hop on into Roche and to claim that. And it's never easy when you're playing up against a Broodmother. That's kind of finding... Well, pretty much owns the bottom lane right now. So it makes it very, very difficult to get on in there and take a Roche. And that's a good timing. We've got Blink Dagger already up on Little Green. So that time he spent in the mid lane getting a little bit of farm there has paid off. And the fact that he's only 0-1-1, that may not sound that impressive, but the fact that he hasn't died yet, we haven't really seen that many kills in this game. It's been pretty passive overall. So the fact that he hasn't died yet is pretty significant. Merlin's just going to actually have to TP away. They were trying to get the gank on him, but... well, Stone Gaze is a pretty good ability. And he just picked up the Manta style. So electing to actually complete the Manta style, not go for the Scotty. I imagine he'll probably go for the Scotty next. As that'll allow him to keep tanking up. I'm really interested to see what MSS is going to go for next. I have a feeling it will be the Yules. But no, it's going to be an Ogre Club. Gets delivered by the courier there. So he's just going to go into BKB. Slark almost getting the pounce off onto Little Green, but Little Green managed to blink in time. Now Merlini farming up those ancient stacks that Showstopper was working on earlier. We're going to see his net worth increase by quite a bit here. Oh, Tiburon getting caught in the mid lane. Dankmac must have blinked, gotten a taunt off there. But Pandago and Lust were there as well. I was mesmerized by Merlini shooting that many arrows at the Ancients. That gave him just over 1,000 gold. That one stack. So you've got the positioning and you've got the time to do it. It's always worth stacking for your carry, especially when it's a hero like Medusa.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
When in regards to the Ancients, but if it's pretty much anyone else, you can always pretty much stack your own jungle. There's always pretty much going to be someone on your team that's going to be able to farm it. But you have to make sure they go and take it. So make sure you take it as a team before the enemy team wanders into your jungle and takes it. Well, they're going to push out here. They don't know that MSS is invis, who will use the Requiem, and well-timed will immediately blow up Showstopper. Great use of Requiem there. MSS will get hit by the finger bang. Merlini has used the Stone Gaze, and now he's just trying to right-click down MSS, and it's just a man mode fight here. But Merlini's kind of chickening out as he's just going to run away here. Meanwhile, we had Axe getting a kill in the bottom lane onto the Broodmother. Looks like Queen of Pain also assisted in that as well. And what timing there from MSS. He was sitting there in Viz, and looks like TP wanted to play aggressive there, and it was going to work out for them from what they saw, but then all of a sudden the Earthshaker just disappeared as MSS popped out of Invis with a Requiem and one-shot the Earthshaker. Glad that they actually fixed how Requiem works so that you can do that. It was kind of broken in Dota 2 for a while. It still is not exactly how it should be, but it's at least better than it was. I'm referring to basically how it used to work in Dota 1. Basically, what they did in Dota 2 was it was like Requiem was basically like an AoE, but that's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to shoot out rays of souls in certain directions around you. I forget how many it is, but it shoots them all out in all different kinds of directions. And basically, when you're in Viz, because you have no collision, you can be basically inside of the enemy hero when they're walking over you. So if you release the Requiem, those rays of souls that are heading out, they all come from the center of you. So effectively, all of them would be hitting you. So it does like 3,000 damage or something like that. I don't know exactly what the value is, but it's a lot of damage. And in Dota 2, it wasn't working like that because it was almost as treated as a big AoE. But I'll get back to that in a second as Little Green's going to get picked off here. Tiburon was able to jump away. But Merlin's going to come in with the Stone Gaze, and that's going to allow them to get the kill onto Dank Mech. We're going to have the Echo Slam come out from the Earthshaker, but it's not really going to do much of anything, as it was just used on the Slark and the Queen of Pain, and we're going to lose Medusa here as well. So just Tiburon and Zing, the only ones left alive. Tiburon making his way back to the jungle. Zing, or to the fountain. Zing just taking the bottom tier 1. So things not looking too good for TP right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's good for Zing to be across the map and taking towers when there's the possibility to do so. The problem is that his team can't get caught out like that and get picked off. They need to really minimize casualties as Zing's kind of having his presence in other locations. But going back to the Shadow Fiend Requiem of Souls, so they changed it so that it's not like an AoE, it actually comes out in souls, kind of. So basically when you're in the center it does a ton of damage. But effectively when it's at the very edge of Requiem's influence, you can see kind of the... Does it actually show me the area? Yeah, okay, it does. No, it doesn't. Whatever. I'll also actually use this because it's pretty much that big. So if you're kind of close to... If you were to stop, that'd be great. If it was like close to the edge, when those rays come out, you could actually step between them, kind of like you can with Ravage from Tidehunter. You could step between them and not take any damage from them. In Dota 2, you can't do that. So it still is treated like an AoE at those big, at those like far reaches of it. So it's not quite working like it did in Dota 1, but it's much better, the fact that you can actually blow someone up. That was a long-winded description, but I hope you guys stayed with me for that. We have BKB picked up on the Axe. We also have the Medallion finished on the Vengeful Spirit. Drums picked up by the Slark. The BKB was finished by MSS. And Lust looks like he's building towards the Egg Scepter on the Queen of Pain. He's got a point booster and 2,200 gold, so only 800 away from completing that. Showstopper's at 1,800 gold on the Earthshaker, so getting close to that Blink Dagger. Of course, Little Green had picked up his Blink Dagger quite some time ago. And he's just kind of been doing the support thing. I definitely agree with Noodles in chat. They should give him a little bit of CS to get that Blink Dagger up. It's very, very important for them to get that Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. Merlini electing to go with the Helm of the Dominator. I don't know about that. Definitely weird. Merlini's always known for his weird and unusual builds, but kind of so am I. So, it's interesting that he chose to go with Helm of the Dominator. That'll allow him to farm in the jungle a little bit better, but it allows him to man fight a little bit better in the team fights too, but it's definitely one of those kind of weird pickups. And Showstopper getting a little bit of CS there, but still 230 gold away from that Blink Dagger. How's Tiburon doing? He's got a 9-charge Bloodstone. He's also got an Oblivion Staff, so he's going for the Orchid. He jumps onto the Slark there, but fingers were too quick. Yeah. He got the Shadow Blade off, so he's able to get out of there. We're going to have a Gem getting picked up by the Axe. So it'll help them kind of push forward and knock down some of these wards. Well, there aren't really that many wards on the Dire side. There's a lot of sentries, but there's really not that many wards. The only Observer ward I can see right now for the Dire side is this one. So I can actually switch. And yeah, I don't see any Observer wards anywhere. Besides that, switch over to Radiant Vision. They've got a lot more Observer wards out. They've got the one up here at the top. They've got another one at their Ancients, kind of watching over mid, and another one watching over bottom. So they have a lot more vision of the map. But we are going to have a smoke here. As they're going to try to push out, try to find Zing. He's up there. They're going to get the taunt off. Nice play there from Dank Mech and everyone, frankly, on Praise the Sun. But while that was going on, we had the Blink Dagger getting picked up by Showstopper. So
Radiant's middle tower is under
we're setting ourselves up for some big Echo Slams. We want the showstoppers. Was that bad? I think that was kind of bad. I'm sorry I said that, guys. We got S and Y on the Slark. Let's actually take a look at the gold graph. I haven't looked at it quite some time. Just over 2,000, about 2,500 gold in favor of Praise the Sun, and that's really not that far ahead. We're 26, almost 27 minutes into this game. XP is a little bit more in favor of them, north of 7,500. Not sure how far up. Not going to do the math. But this one's pretty close, and no team really taking too many big risks or chances. Maybe they did so in the draft, but for the most part, not really. It's both teams playing very, very structured, very safe Dota. As it is just $100 on the line, but $100 is... it's not bad. I'd like $100. How is Zing recovered? He's got his Yasha. He still has a Hand of Midas. Got 2,700 gold. I'm actually surprised that he's holding on to that much gold. Maybe... well, he's got 1,000 reliable and he's not choosing to buy the ultimate orb because he's going to build that into a Manta, I'm assuming. That's probably it. He's just kind of maximizing his reliable gold. So expect him to pick up an ultimate orb pretty soon. We got the second Oblivion Staff getting picked up by Tiburon, so he almost has his Orchid, and we just had the... whoops, that's not the right hero. We just had the Scotty getting picked up by Merlini. We got a hasted, invised, smoked Shadow Fiend, MSS, here wandering through the jungle. And they're going to look for someone, but no one's even close. Closest hero is Merlini, who's all the way down here in the mid lane. And, well, will they actually go on this illusion? Merlini's trying to bait it, but it's pretty obvious with the amount of damage it's done to the creeps here that that's an illusion. And the other one's going to walk up on into them. So good dodge of the smoke there. Everyone else on the dire side's made their way to the bottom. Merlini now just making his way down there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Zing, Tiburon, and Showstopper, as well as Little Green, are posted up here. With Merlini coming down here, they actually may look to push this tower, but they saw Merlini come down here because of... I can't draw because of the damn webs. Because of this Observer Ward. Why can I not draw there? What? I don't know. Game's weird.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
but now
attack.
they're posting up on this tier 2 tower. The glyph's going to get used. Dankmech coming in, trying to get the blink off. Unfortunately, not able to land that blink taunt off onto Merlini. He was just far enough away. Maybe Dankmech actually... I think he may have actually over-blinked there, which means you actually blink a little bit shorter than max distance. But they're still going to chase down. Meanwhile, with Merlini TPing to the top lane, that allowed him to get the deny on that tower. But unfortunately, it is going to cost them Little Green. He wasn't able to get out of there. Despite the fact that he has Blink Dagger, doesn't actually have Tranquil Boots, which you typically see on a Lion. He elected not to pick those up. So unfortunately, he was just a little slow. Well, his hero is a little slow getting on out of there. Now, Praise the Sun will look to take out this Roche. There's that Roche dropping pretty quickly. I had him selected on, but can't collect him anymore. The Aegis will go on MSS once again. I feel like he's been playing every single one of these games with an Aegis, as they've been giving it to him pretty much every game. And rightfully so, but... oh, Showstopper going to get caught out here by a Slark. Zing did pick up that Manta style. Looks like he did dip in a little bit to his reliable gold there. It cost him about 300. It was reliable gold. Dankmech blinking forward, using the taunt on the creeps. Zing almost walked into it. But now Little Green's there. He will land the Earth Spike. And with Tiburon there as well, they jump on in, grab him, and get the kill. So they do manage to get a pick off on this axe. And that was... he was still holding the gem, I believe. Who has the gem? Tiburon now has the gem, and that was huge. was absolutely huge. That gem combined with Slark's passive, I mean his alt passive, is huge for allowing them to kind of deward the map and really reduce the vision that TP has. But now Tiburon just needs to make sure he doesn't give it back. There is an observer ward here. Will he be close enough to see it? I don't think so. No, not during the nighttime. Drop another observer ward in the mid lane. And yeah, now Showstopper steps on over, and that gives him vision to get that observer ward. So Tiburon jumps on over and counters it. And now this is really interesting. That changing hands of the gem there could very well turn this game around. It was IMO a little bit Radiant favored. I think Praise the Sun was off to a pretty good start into this game. And I say start, but we're 30 minutes in. But I think they were doing good. And maybe getting slight little advantages here or there. We bring up the gold graph, and you can see they are still ahead, 4,000 gold. And mainly XP is where they're leading. 12, almost 13,000. Take a look at the levels. What are the key levels? I mean, you're just looking at supports now. The only big one is the fact that Lion hasn't hit 11. Besides that, the difference in XP is really just the fact that they went with the greedier support pickup in the Queen of Pain. So that's really all it is.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Which is quite significant. A level 16 Queen of Pain does a lot of damage with a Sonic Wave, especially now that she's got her Egg Scepter up. That's pretty scary, coming out from a support. But the fact that Little Green doesn't have rank 2 Finger of Death is kind of hurting them. But he's going to get that here in just a second. He's just going to be reclaimed in 2 minutes. But it looks like TP may... Well, they're kind of gathering down here, but they don't have Merlini. He's still in the mid lane. And yeah, I think they're going to back away here. They're doing it into what would be an Aegis. This is a little bit risky. Now MSS charging forward, trying to catch them. I think they're going to catch Little Green once again. Ooh, the TP just gets off in time, and they're actually all going to get out of here. This is huge space created for Merlini, who's just sitting there farming in the mid lane. So he's going to send his illusions down and push the tier 2.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We do have the Scotty now getting picked up by the Slark, as he kind of went a roundabout way of getting to the Scotty than we typically see.
I'll take
And there you go, no real item progression. Does have 1,500 gold. Wonder if he's going to choose to go after a 4-staff or not. As for Zing, well, he looks like he's building towards his BKB. The Requiem Soul is going to come out. Zing even pops the Manta style, trying to avoid the damage coming up from that Requiem of Souls. Not man enough. He unfortunately failed to dodge the damage, but not man enough to stand directly on top of the Shadow Fiend and try to do that. Or stand very close to him. That would have been pretty manly. But he wasn't able to get the kill there, but we do have an initiation. Blink Taunt coming out from Dank Mech, and that's going to allow Lust to throw out one of those Sonic Waves again, this time getting him a double kill, and he's been on point with those. The support Queen of Pain really paying off for them in some key moments in this game. And that's going to allow them to get a tier 2 tower on the back of this. Zing is unfortunately trying to push bottom as fast as he can. Spiderling's cutting off the creep wave. But he's not going to be. It's going to take him a while before he's able to push that tier 2 tower. Aegis just went down, so that's not on the back of MSS anymore. And with that going down and with the respawns, they're actually just going to back away. Butterfly getting picked up by Merlini. Starting to get pretty big on this Dusa, as he's at 22,000 net worth, which puts some good 4,000 ahead of the Shadow Fiend. MSS just denied the top tier 2 tower. Quickly bring up our not our gold graph, our item chart here, so we can see exactly what everyone has. I know I've been trying to go through them, but oftentimes I will miss something. So what do we got that's new and exciting? I didn't really point out the Yule Scepter on Lust, but he's picked that up quite some time ago. Got a plate mail just getting picked up by Dank Mech. Ooh, it's a Blink Dagger that Pandago chose to go with. Just picking that up now. So didn't go with the Force Staff. Went the Blink Dagger. We got the BKB just getting picked up by Zing. Okay. Besides that, I'm not seeing anything else. We've had the Orchid and the Bloodstone for a while. Yep. Nothing too new. Dank Mech has that plate mail. I imagine he's building into an AC. It could be a Shiva's, but most likely just going to be an AC. The AC is going to give them some extra minus armor. I feel like the minus armor is actually going to be more beneficial to them because they have so many. I mean, they've got the strong right click from the Shadow Fiend. They got the strong right click from the Slark. It's going to help them deal more damage, which is going to help them bring down the Dusa. The Shivas, on the other hand, would give them a little bit more defense, which, frankly, I don't really think that they need that. But who knows? I could be wrong.
Come to axe.
Dank Mech getting the taunt off onto the Broodmother, but it is just an illusion. The Centaur, with his dying wish, gets a stomp off and stuns everyone around him. I wonder if the Centaur even got the kill on the illusion. Not that it matters. It's not like you get XP or anything for it. Well, we got our Slark hunting here. He hasn't found anything, surprisingly. He's just going to run in and kill that range creep. But then he's going to hit with a fissure from Showstopper. But they're going to think better of it. Oh, little green. Where are you going? Where are you going? Yeah, blink away. Everyone was immediately pinging it out. That was a little risky, but Zing's going to get caught out here. Dank Mech does find the real one. Not an illusion this time. And on the back of that Broodmother kill, they're going to look to push. But Merlini with the Dusa pushing in this top lane. And okay, he's going to sell his phase boots. He's going to TP home, and is he going to buy the Merlini Boots of Travels? Boots?
Dire's bottom tower
No.
is under
Okay, he's
attack.
not going to buy the Travels. And what's important about that is the fact that he wouldn't have enough for a buyback. He will buy the Travels, though, after this, most likely, if it doesn't go poorly for them. As they've already lost Showstopper, though. But now Merlini's right-clicking down MSS, who's taking quite a beating. He's got his BKB activated. Nice swap coming out from Pandago, but Tiburon will dive forward to make sure that they get the kill, and that swap doesn't keep him alive. Oh, Tiburon, nice suicide there with barely any HP. Merlin just standing there tanking everything. He's going to go down. Will he buy back? Yes, he will. As Tiburon bought back, and he's in the fight too. Now here comes Merlini again, and I think they're all going to have to... they could probably get the racks, but they're not going to stay any longer than that. That's for sure. Definitely not going to try to go for Merlini. That's going to be a dead lust, as Tiburon's going to jump in from the fountain, and he's going to toss himself up in the air with the Yules, but that's going to only keep him alive for a little bit. But unfortunately, because Merlini had to buy back, never mind. There it is. The Boots of Travels. They came out. So good play there from Merlini. I think a lot of players would have actually just sold their Hand of Midas at that side shop because they needed TP, kept their phase boots, sold the Hand of Midas and TP'd back. But the fact that he knew that he was going to be upgrading his Boots of Travel soon, or upgrading to Boots of Travel soon because he's going to need a TP slot. The fact that he wasn't carrying a TP wasn't good to begin with. But yeah, so he sold his boots, TP'd back, then bought regular boots so he wasn't slow. And yeah, then he upgraded the Boots of Travels after. He didn't buy the Boots of Travels recipe immediately because it wouldn't have given him enough gold to buy back. He only had 1,300 gold surplus. So he wouldn't have had enough, and now we're going to see the Slark get caught out here. Little Green blink forward, got the Hex off, but unfortunately he just gets right-clicked down by MSS, and the Lion's going to be dead. Zing's going to die as well, and now Merlini, with that split shot, has frozen up a couple targets with the Stone Gaze, and they will get the kill onto the Slark, and they're also going to get it onto the Shadow Fiend. Now Dank Mech's going to go down as well on the axe. What a fight for TP. They came out way ahead there. Lust even tossing out the ult there. I think he was trying to connect it onto Tiburon, but Tiburon was nowhere near where it was thrown. He was a little off. But now Merlini will just sit here. Solo and Roche, as Lust was the only one left alive. Or Praise the Sun, and he's going all the way up top to defend against this creep wave and just get a little bit of gold and XP. And that means we're going to have a free Aegis here for the Dire side. I guess it wasn't free, they had to fight for it. But it is going to be an Aegis for Merlini nonetheless. Still not an Aegis, I believe, or still not a cheese. I believe that's the second time Roche has been killed this game. I'm actually just going to mute here for a second. I need a sip of water. Back. I'm not sure if it's a sip of water when you drink half the bottle. But, yeah, I definitely was feeling a little parched there. It's a solo cast life. So hard. Now Merlini upgrading that Helm of the Dominator into a Satanic. Okay, that's natural. Natural progression for that item. But he's a pretty damn big Dusa. You know, we were talking not too long ago about how he was only 4,000 gold, or how he was 4,000 gold ahead of the Shadow Fiend. He's now 7,500 gold ahead of the Shadow Fiend, and basically 7,500 gold ahead of the Slark. So Slark's actually caught up to the Shadow Fiend, but Merlini's huge on this Dusa.
Over here now.
Gonna bring up our item chart here to filthy Dusa pickers, says Floats in chat. The Dusa pickers are better than the troll pickers.
Radiant's bottom tower
Which apparently is every
attack.
single game. Still don't understand how people lose pub games on that hero, but whatever.
Has fallen.
The tier 2 goes down here, and now they're gonna look to push up onto the high ground. And he just walks right up, no fear whatsoever. And where's this team? Where's Showstopper? We've got Slark in the background, jumping around, causing a little bit of disruption, but we got a swap onto Merlini. We're going to try to stay focused on Merlini here, as he's in the middle of everything, just right-clicking down. He's got frozen off a couple targets with that Stone Gaze, and now this mech, or Dank mech, is taking quite a bit of damage, but we did lose Merlini, but he's going to respawn with the Aegis, but get chunked by the Requiem of Souls before he's able to get that Mana Shield off. And then there comes Showstopper as he jumps in with the Echo. He hits 3, but he goes down immediately, not really able to get much damage in. And Merlini goes down as well. It looks like we're going to lose Tiburon, and the only one who was able to get out of there alive was Zing. But they did a decent amount of damage to the tier 3, but that fight did not go how they wanted it to. There's a gem sitting on the ground there. And Pandago's going to come over and pick that up. So that was definitely not how Team Pika wanted that fight to go. Actually, we'll bring up our net worth here and see what that's done. So despite Merlini being a gigantic broodmother, they're still behind over 6,000 gold.
Is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
XP is quite significant as well, the difference. But now Little Green's going to go down here. Oh, he got the Ghost Scepter. It's going to keep him alive for a little bit, but then MSS comes in. And they've got no Lion. They've got Storm just respawned, but they have no Dusa for another 20 seconds. Actually quite surprised that they're not sticking around. Yeah, the pings are coming out now from MSS because Merlini isn't... Merlini does actually just have enough to buy back now. I think it just came off cooldown. But Tiburon jumped in and immediately just got disabled and he died. This could actually be game. They've lost the bottom set of racks. Now they lost the mid set of racks. The top already has the creep wave pushing. They're going to try to get some damages in on this tier 3. They may actually choose to back away because Merlini is up. Even though that there's no Storm Spirit. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to back away. But that's the second set of racks that have gone down. Despite the fact that Merlini is gigantic. Although that has narrowed the gap quite a bit by 4,400. The discrepancy between the two heroes is only 4,400. But now Merlini getting right clicked down by that Slark. Only stolen 10 stats so far. And it looks like we're going to lose the Slark. As who did... Oh, there was a misclick there. I was going to say the swap came out, but it wasn't on Slark. He was still over there. The swap was actually on the Earthshaker. But while that was going down, the racks were just going down. And there we go. We're going to have Megas. As the last set of racks goes down, Merlini with the Stone Gaze forces everyone back. Dankmek's going to try to TP away. While he's doing it, he's just spinning away. But he does manage to get on out of there. Lust, unfortunately, not so lucky as he's going to go down to Tiburon. But mainly as a result of that fissure coming out from Showstopper, who just now picks up a 4-staff. We've got a BKB getting picked up by the Slark. And that's going to be actually huge in the next team fight, a 10-second BKB. See, Shadow Fiends is down to 6. What is Axe's down to? 5 seconds. So the BKB durations are getting quite low. What is Broodmother's at? 9 seconds. That almost seems like a wasted item pickup now. As he only used 1 charge BKB. Wow. Pretty sparing in his use of the BKB. I find that really surprising. He picked up that BKB a while ago, but he hasn't really made any item progression whatsoever. But Zing just hasn't had the impact on this game that we saw him have that other game we saw him play Blue the other night. Ron has picked up a Shiva's. Gonna have a helm, or sorry, not a helm, a Satanic picked up by the Shadow Fiend. So MSS is gonna have a little bit more tankability, a little bit more sustain in the team fight. Dankmek somehow didn't hit that taunt. That was so close. Showstopper lays down the fissure to make sure that they can't chase. Can't believe 10-second BKB on that Slark. That's going to be huge. The Sheepstick on Lust has been pretty big as well. That allowed them to get that kill when they were still pushing this mid racks, and Tiburon jumped in. He got sheeped immediately. Lust was sitting down here. He hexed him up, and that allowed them to get the kill. And that's an AC for the Broodmother. That's where all his gold is. He's got 2,000 gold on hand. He needs 2,100 to buy the Hyperstone, but he does need buyback as well, and he's 20 gold away from buyback. I think he's actually potentially just going to buy it. Yeah, he just buys the Hyperstone. It's not 2,100, it's 2,000. What am I thinking? They changed the price, but the bigger pickup is this one. It's the Divine Rapier. Question is, are we going to see another?
Tower is under attack.
Mr. Scissor, what is that? Quap's skin? Where is her wings? Oh, I can't look now. We've got a fight. Merlini has the Divine Rapier. He's in the middle of everything. He's right-clicking down. Looks like Pandago is going to be the first target. And now him and Tiburon are going to go after Dankmek. MSS has also gone down. Now focusing down Dankmek. Showstopper has gone down. Now Merlini's going to get hexed up by that hex from Lust. And he's going to get right-clicked by the Slark, constantly transferring all those stats to him. Storm Spirit suicides himself. And Merlini will go down. Divine Rapier on the ground. We're just going to ping it out and leave it there so that MSS will be able to pick it up, drop that mech, pick up that Divine Rapier. This one's over. There's gems. There's everything on the ground here. This one is looking like it's in the bag. As they're going to push down the mid lane. They've already got the Megas. The GG comes out from Showstopper. And it is going to be Praise the
Dire's middle
sun.
tower has fallen.
I'm holding up my arms. If you play Dark Souls and you know what Praise the Sun is from, you
Dire's
know
structures are
what I'm
fortified.
doing. But it's going to be Praise the Sun that is going to take this one. It's $100 on the line. Well, it was $100 on the line. Now it's $100 in their pocket. And we're actually going to have a $100 prize pool the first Sunday of every month now in SCS. So, yeah, that should kind of spice things up at the start of every month. So we'll have a little bit more for everyone to fight for. But it will be Praise the Sun that will take it tonight. So Pendago, MSS, Subster Face, which is Ritsu, I believe. Lust and Dankmech or Dismech, that will take it. And they went up against Merlini, and I believe Merlini was just kind of standing in. Merlini and co were just kind of standing in for Team Pika, which we saw the other night as well. But yeah, despite Merlini getting gigantic on that Dusa, they just couldn't get it done. The team fights were not going the way that they were hoping. And they stuck in there for a while, 51-minute game, but unfortunately, they did not have what it took to win this one. But that's going to wrap it up for me tonight. Once again, I'm Niz. You're watching on NizCast. And if you're watching in game, definitely make sure you tune on into twitch.tv/NizCast and hit that follow button. I cast SCS every Thursdays and Sunday nights. Typically start around round 3, sometimes round 4. And then I cast all the way to the finals. So if you're looking to see some SCS games get cast, you can definitely check that out on this channel. Besides that, you can also follow me on Twitter @NizCast, where I tweet about everything that I'm casting and the tournaments and all that stuff. And last but not least, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/NizCast, where I upload all the VODs of my casts. So this game will be up there. The games from earlier tonight will be up there as well. So you can go and check those out. You can also go back and check out any previous casts as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight. Once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the players, and thank you to Mimic that posted that terrific article. I'm going to link it in the chat in a second. But yeah, that's it for me. Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic Easter Sunday and fantastic long weekend. If you're not celebrating Easter and all that stuff, or maybe it's not even a long weekend where you are, I don't know, then I hope you're still having a good time. So that's going to be it for me. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you again on Thursday.